Yeah, spark that. Yeah, spark that. Yeah. Hey.
Big face.
Okay. I'll ask your boy if you need a little something. I be in the hood. I be in the hood. I'll ask your boy if you need a little something. I be in the hood.
Hey, what's good with your fam? Welcome to Big Faces Worldwide. It's your boy Big Will, and I'm back with some boxing talk, man. Hey, I found out some interesting news today. Shout out to Ness over there at the Boxing Voice, man, who they always bring us great content. They had the manager, the trainer, and the father of former two-time welterweight champion Showtime Shawn Porter. They had Kenny Porter over there, who did a very, very in-depth interview. He talked about a lot of different things, man. But the thing that particularly caught my attention was the fact that he said that his son, Showtime Shawn Porter, had about 2 to 3 more fights, and then he's walking off.
With Terrence Crawford and make it, make it a good situation for Shawn. We definitely want to take that fight. And I would say he's probably in the 2 to 3 fight range, and then he's done with this. And that's not because of anything other than, no one is built to do this, forever. This, all sports take a toll on your body. And this one is, one that definitely takes a toll on you. So,
again, shout out to Ness and those guys over there at the Boxing Voice, man. They do a tremendous job. But as you heard in that clip, man, Kenny Porter, he sounds very serious that, his son will end his career in 2 or 3 more fights. But he specified that he wanted those fights to be big fights, And my question is to you guys, has Shawn Porter done enough as of right now to be nominated to go into the Boxing Hall of Fame? Has he done enough, or will it take these 2 to 3 matches to be big fights, and for him to perform big and win big, for him to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, man? I think Shawn Porter is an exceptional boxer. I think that every fight that he's in is a very exciting fight. Now, a lot of people early on in his career, they didn't like Shawn Porter's style. They said he was a football player. They said he was, just roughing people up, doing illegal stuff and illegal tactics. But I think over the last 4 or 5 fights, we have seen somewhat of a more controlled Shawn Porter, man. You look at his last couple fights. Let's take a look, man. His last couple fights with Sebastian Formella, he got a lot of flack for not knocking Formella out. You know what I'm saying? Formella was an undefeated fighter, and sometimes those undefeated fighters, they don't know how to lose, man. They don't know how to lose until someone shows them how to lose. And, he did dominate the fight. It was a unanimous decision. It wasn't like there was any question involved. The only thing is Shawn Porter did not stop Formella, and a lot of people thought that he should have stopped Formella. You know what I mean? The fight before that was with Earl Spence Jr., where a lot of people thought that, Shawn Porter may have pulled off the victory had it not been for him being knocked down. I believe it was the 10th or 11th round. His glove hit the canvas. But if you notice in that fight, Shawn Porter recovered very quickly, man. And that's a credit to his endurance. That's a credit to his training. That's a credit to Shawn Porter living that fighter's lifestyle. Coach Larry Wade and Kenny Porter, they have done a tremendous job with Shawn Porter. But it all starts with Shawn Porter and his dedication to the sport, man. You don't never hear about Shawn Porter out partying, out, blowing up in weight and all that. Everything you see about Shawn Porter is very professional. He really stays in shape. He's always in the gym. And, when he comes in the ring, you can guarantee that he's going to be in shape and he's going to be ready to go. Had he not been in spectacular shape, I believe that left that Earl Spence caught him with would have, ended the fight, man. But Shawn Porter is a dog. He's a beast. The fight before that was against Yordenis Ugas, man. A lot of people, think that Shawn Porter may have lost that fight. I'm not one of those guys, man. I think Shawn Porter pulled that fight off fight out by 2 rounds. You know, Ugas did present some problems for Shawn Porter, but Shawn Porter, nevertheless, he gave Ugas many different looks, man. I believe Shawn Porter's footwork is underrated. I believe his movement is underrated. The lateral movement, the back and forth, being able to come in with that stutter step and do that double, sometimes triple jab to throw his opponent off, man, is to be applauded. You know, I think Shawn Porter will try to get the very biggest fights he can for his last 2 or 3 fights. Kenny Porter also talked about in this interview that he spoke to Shawn and they talked about how, you know, when he get to 31, 32, 33, to be looking for different avenues, man. You know what I'm saying? Because this boxing thing is not here forever. You know what I'm saying? And just so happened that Shawn was already lining himself up for commentary with the show with Abner Mares and Kate Abdo inside the PBC on Fox. Now he's starting to commentate fights more, and he also works for NBC too. So he's working on his resume as a commentator, as a sports analyst, and I think he's doing a very good job. So when the time comes for Shawn Porter to retire, which is in from what Kenny Porter is saying, which is in the next year or 2 or so, you know what I mean? He's ready to make that transition. He already set up his after boxing career, man, and I think Shawn Porter will be okay, man. He also spoke about Shawn Porter fighting this man right here over my shoulder, Terrence Bud Crawford. He said there was nothing solidified yet, but him and Bob Arum have been in great talks. Bob Arum invited him to his office, said they spoke for about 45 minutes, and they plan to have a second conversation. Now, anytime you have a second conversation, the first conversation obviously did well. So I'm looking forward to seeing, if this fight was to come to fruition. However, we all know that there's been plenty of talk about Terrence Crawford fighting Manny Pacquiao. And if Terrence Crawford fights Manny Pacquiao, then I'm not sure that Shawn Porter fight happens. But, we're going to see what happens. Shawn Porter is at a point in his career where he only needs to fight big fights. I don't think he needs to fight any tune-ups or anybody in the rankings. I think if he got 2 or 3, more fights left, I think they all need to be big names in high-profile fights, man. Shawn Porter has gave his life to the sport, and I think 2 or 3 more fights, I think it's okay for him to hang it up, man. He's did his job, in my opinion. Shawn Porter is a dog, is a beast, and I look forward to what's next to come for Shawn Porter, man. But listen, man, I appreciate y'all tuning in, man, and like I always say, if you're new here, I want you to be here. So think about hitting that subscribe button as we stay knee deep into this boxing conversation. Peace out.
Yeah, spark that. Yeah. Hey.